Do all these young 20s girls really want men earning 500k plus? TikTok is not where you should be learning about how normal people think. Of course it's rage bait. Interview 100 ladies and pick 5 of them for the video. What I want and what I get are two very different things. No, the vast majority of those videos are edited to include only the answers that will get views. Please don't let TikTok or the internet in general mold how you view the world, because in actuality the vast majority of what you see online is faked for views. Street interviewers are typically in NYC. 100k is barely scraping by in NYC. Most apartments won't even rent to you if you make less than 40x the rent. I'm a hetero old dude, but I wouldn't mind myself a man earning 500k either. Money buys happiness. And security. Yes and no. Yes, those people really exist, but there's also a reason why they are on the street and volunteering for interviews, putting aside that they are also selected and edited to fit the creator's bias. Kinda similar to the same bias you get with surveys in general. You're always suffering from the bias that results from selecting people who have the time to fill out surveys or do interviews, and that's a small demographic that often feels like their opinion is more important or popular than it actually might be. I mean, ideally, yeah, who doesn't want a rich spouse? But I would hope most of these people realize that's not something they can guarantee they'll get. Now there's a selection bias here. Smart, high-quality women don't talk to random D-bags on the street who stick a camera in their faces. Lol, I think these videos are probably highly edited to just include these girls. The person making the video is trying to make a point. Who knows how many girls he talked to, where these girls were, where they were from. So maybe for them, it's what they grew up expecting because that's what their family did or that's what the media has told them. But I seriously doubt that all young women think this way. There's always some guy out there who wants to make women feel bad for wanting anything, whether reasonable or not. So many men are afraid of not being able to meet expectations that they look for excuses to blame others for their own feelings of inadequacy. It's about catering to the emotional needs of lonely men and giving them an excuse for why women are irrational and they are so much more logical and intelligent. It's sad. Like a high school game. It's very obvious fake rage bait. I think it's rage bait 9 of 10 times. It's rage bait. The way these street interviews work is as follows. Person interviews lots of people. They take the 2 or 3 that are just ridiculous and only show those. Or maybe there's just one. They ignore the dozens or hundreds of people they interview who don't give them rage bait fodder. So while the interviews are accurate, they are a carefully selected subset to get maximum engagement, i.e. rage bait. Dude, even senior software engineer in Google doesn't get paid that much. It's like the point of view one of population. To be fair, lower middle class in large cities is now 142k. I thought I'd be rolling in it when I started making 1k nope. 2k nope middle class at best. Corporate greed ruined it for everyone but the top 3. But when a government is geared towards business and not the people, this is what you get. It's sad. Happy weekend PPL. There might be very little who actually want that, but most people's standards aren't that high. Other than that, the people interviewing those girls wouldn't put a boring or low salary in their videos because it's not that interesting otherwise. Get off TikTok and live your life, dude. It's rage bait. It's intended for rage watching, by boys angry at women for rejecting them, so they can console themselves that it's the girl's fault because they have impossible unrealistic standards, and not his fault in any way, shape, or form. X200B. Some of these interview videos are just staged, and they are paying the girls to say this stuff. Others are just culled from a huge number of interviews, and you only show the rage-inducing stuff. Others use off-camera suggestions or other methods to induce the answers they want. For example, asking these questions in the context of how rich would an old guy have to be to make you interested? Then redubbing the interviewer's question to a more general one. The majority of people date roughly within the same educational professional bracket. Social media is just fantasy.